Good morning. My name's Don Garrity. I'm the product specialist for SPARTACOTE Resinous flooring systems products of LATICRETE International. This morning, what I'd like to show you is a helpful hint on how to repair a bald spot that you would have on the floor after you had broadcasted your chip or your quartz onto the floor. And then when you go back and you blow the chip off or the quartz off, you find a miss. And the misses usually occur from a couple different things. One is just a lighter broadcast in certain areas. Others are that the coating was very, very thin and not back rolled as the other areas were. So sometimes you will come up with a miss. And this is an easy tip of how to get that corrected right away before you go into the process of scraping and putting your top coat on. So what I did here is, this is basically a broadcast chip. The chip is down. I came back in 2 hours. I looked at the chip, and what I did, instead of sweeping off, I'm just going to dump it off to show you. I took the chip off the floor, and I noticed a couple bald spots on the floor. Now, what do you do to repair that? It's very simple. You basically will wet up some resin. I have the resin here. I'm going to do it, and let me do that now. Again, our mixes are 1-to-1 ratio. This is polyaspartic coatings. This is polyaspartic clear that I'm using. Underneath this coating, though, there is a gray base coat. But on the repair side, I don't like to put the color back in because it bleeds too much on the existing chip that's there. So all we need is some resin there to hold the other chip in place that we're going to repair it with. So after you mix this up, I'm basically just going to brush this out, and I'm going to reapply some chip, and I'll show you how fast and how accurate it covers in. Basically, you couldn't find a repair if you look for it, because the chip has so many different colors and has so many different angles that you won't see a repair where with the quartz you make. Okay. We'll just start by taking some of this resin. All we want to do basically is wet out the areas that were missed. Okay. This one goes out. Again, you want to try to keep your mill thickness about the same, 6 to 8 mils. Keep it, you don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. So we'll just get about the right millage, bring it around into the other chip that way. Okay, once you wet the resin out, what you'll do is you'll go back and get some of the chip that you have knocked off. Basically put the chip back in, filter the chip back in on the wet resin. Okay. What you'll see here is an area that's repaired, and basically you won't be able to see it. Now, the bad part about this is you have to wait another 2 hours to go back, totally scrape your floor off and top coat it. But that is the repair on the chip. Very simple, very easy. You want to make sure that once you blow the chip off, at the initial broadcast, that you look for those bald spots, look for any kind of deformity so you can fix them prior to scraping and top coating, because then it gets into a whole other aspect. Same thing over here on the quartz floor. I broadcasted quartz onto this, and also when I went to clean the quartz off, I noticed there was a bald spot here. Okay, they're a little dramatic on the bald spots, but I just wanted to kind of show you the way it could look. Okay, the same repair is going to take place. I'm going to take the wet resin, okay, and I'm going to wet out the area. And all you need to do is just wet out the area around it. You don't need to double broadcast this onto the other because it'll just make a hump. Okay, so make it thin, close, precise. Take a little bit of the quartz that you had taken off, rebroadcast the quartz back onto the board so it looks, and you won't see that either, because the reason for this is you want to make these repairs prior to the sweeping off, the vacuuming, and your top coat. Once all that's done, you won't see that repair either. After the fact, once the floor is 100% complete, you will see repairs on quartz, mainly because of the differences in the sunlight and temperature and a lot of different things. So just be careful how you do it, but try to make your repairs after the first broadcast and after the first clean off. So I hope that helps out with this. I'll be back with other videos to show you different repair methods of a final floor, and also some we're going to be doing some maintenance on floors also. Okay, thank you very much, and have a safe day.